Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the temple for Shabbat evening services. Please join us on this sixth night of Hanukkah, on this special Shabbat of service and songs and prayers. We will share a brief word of Torah on the theme of Hanukkah and pray for the building of a world of peace. If you have a copy of the prayer book Mishkan Tefillah with you at home or here near your seat, you can follow along with us in our readings. If not, you can access a digital copy in the YouTube description of our channel. Or you can just simply sit back, settle in, and share this Shabbat in heart and soul. May the words we share and the prayers we speak enter your hearts and your homes with the blessing of Sabbath peace. Amen. Our opening song is Hine Matov, how good it is and how wondrous when a community can gather as one. Please join us. The words are on page 10.
שבת עמים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי, לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד.
And now we answer that deep and difficult question of which candles are we going to light first tonight? The candles of Shabbat or the candles of Hanukkah, by me inviting you to join with Jennifer as she sings the blessings for Hanukkah, and we welcome the sixth night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים
Now my pleasure to invite Rabbi Rooks and Nadine Lee to come forward, well, to actually go backwards, and light the Sabbath candles. If the congregation would please rise and turn to page 3.
As we light these Shabbat candles, may they give light to all that behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu li'ad likner
We continue with the Kiddush on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Borei Peri Hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Rabbi Galia and Nadine. We continue with a special prayer for these difficult times. God of wisdom, bless medical scientists and researchers around the world with insight and skill, dedication and fortitude as they combat coronavirus, so that their work yields knowledge and understanding, developing successful vaccines, treatments, and deterrents to its spread. Source of life, grant public health and government officials the strength to act swiftly and decisively with compassion and understanding in the service of all humankind, fighting this outbreak and other diseases that still plague the planet, diseases threatening the lives of our brothers and sisters, nations and communities, young and old. Be with those who serve us and support us in these trying times, so that we have food to eat and shelter from harm and power to our homes. Rock of Ages, bring an end to disease and suffering soon and in our day, so that we all may feel your compassion and your love. El na refana la, heal us, O God, and we shall be healed. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, healer of all flesh, maker of wonders. Amen. Our service continues on page 20 with Lecha Dodi.
דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקה דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לקה דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקה דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת וליתי לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום, מטהרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובבשורה, תוך אמוני יום סגולה. בואי כלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לה לה
rise now on page 28 for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. We continue on page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do
join me now in the Ve'ahavta at the top of page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'chol nafshecha u'chol mo'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shoch b'cha uv'kumecha. Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha. Lama'an tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai. V'yetem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there's a better place, promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there's no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together. Turn to Hashkivenu, bottom of page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and rise us up, O guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. The words to Yismachu can be found at the bottom of page 44, where you could just clap along.
Yismachu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat.
Ratzito bo v'kidashto Shabbat.
Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Zecher L'maaseh v'reishit Shabbat Zecher L'maaseh v'reishit Shabbat Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We rise for the Tefillah, page 46.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Titai. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Titai. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Titai. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibur, v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem l'ma'an Shemo b'Ahava, Melech, Uzer, Moshiach, Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, God of our fathers and our mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Leah, and God of Rachel, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and our mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign, deliverer, helper, and shield. Blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You cause wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. You are holy. Your name is holy. And those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We turn now to our prayer for peace, which can be found on page 61. Lo yisagoy el goy charev velo yilmedu od milchama. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Don't stop after beating swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first.
Shalom Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Yatom Malakadum Likol HaShalom. לכל השלום, שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Please take a moment for silent prayer. Page 253, page 253, you'll find the words to the Misha Berach, a prayer for hope and for healing, which we offer in need of courage and strength, of healing and hope. In difficult times, we recognize the importance of community and prayer, and a community whose hands and hearts are building a better world. May we together, through our thoughts and our prayers, through our actions and our deeds, bring about this world of wholeness, holiness, and peace.
souls in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Tonight we celebrate the 6th night of Hanukkah, our festival of lights. So how many candles did we just light? 6? It's a trick question. Count the candles, we just lit 7 lights. Oh, that other one, the shamas, the helper candle, the one that lights the other 6, that one doesn't count. But it does. In certain ways, the shamas candle counts most of all. Let me explain. Ask yourself the question, a question we somehow never seem to ask. Why do we need a shamas, a helper candle, to kindle the lights of Hanukkah? We've been lighting Hanukkah candles with a shamash for so long, it seems perfectly natural, but think about it for a moment. Why do we need a shamash? There's no rule against lighting Shabbat candles directly with a match. We do that all the time. And if you're thinking this is some special holiday thing, well, we can light Rosh Hashanah candles and Yom Kippur candles and Passover candles with a match just as well. A particularly precocious Sunday school student told me, we need a shamas on Hanukkah so we don't burn our fingers trying to light all 8 candles all on one match. A creative answer, but we could use 2 matches. Or else we could invent another ritual object, we love ritual objects, a very long match for use to light the last nights of Hanukkah. We don't pay very much attention to the shamas candle. In fact, we're not supposed to. That's why one of the very few rules for making a Hanukkah menorah specifically states that the shamas should be set apart from the other candles, placed either above or below or completely to the side. We're told this because on Hanukkah, the Hanukkah lights themselves should not be used for any purpose other than the contemplation of the beauty and the meaning that they represent. The purpose of the shamas is to shed some light which comes not from the Hanukkah candles, so should we pass by the menorah reading a book, for instance, we can say we use the light of the shamas and not of those holy flames. That's not a very good answer, I know. It's always sounded to me less like an answer and more like a legal excuse. And this whole idea that setting the shamas apart will make it look less important than the other candles doesn't seem to be working very well. Lighting it first, placing it above all the others, that just makes it look more special to me. Maybe it is. Let me tell you an old story of Hanukkah. A story that's so old that it comes from before the holiday of Hanukkah was ever born. Back in biblical times, the outer chamber of the ancient temple in Jerusalem, the menorah stood in a special area called the Heichal, or the sanctuary. This menorah was about 5 feet tall, 7 branches, and it was fashioned out of a single piece of pure gold. These candelabras in our sanctuary today are patterned after that first menorah from so very long ago. Ours are brass. The original one was gold, and we have the advantage, however, of electricity, which would have made the job of the biblical priest considerably easier, I'm sure. Every morning, one of those priests filled the menorah's lamp with purest olive oil, and then in the afternoon, a priest would come and step up on a 3-step ladder to kindle the menorah's lamps. The flames burned through the night, symbolizing the light of the Holy One radiating throughout the world. But here are 2 interesting facts about this carefully choreographed lighting ritual of biblical times. Actually, it didn't have to be a priest who lit the menorah. The Torah clearly states that any Israelite could perform this commandment. But there's another law that restricts entry into the sanctuary of the temple to priests alone. So these 2 commandments seem to be clearly in conflict with one another. Any Israelite can light the menorah, but the menorah is clearly designated to be placed inside the sanctuary where only a priest can enter. The solution, according to the rabbis, is something called the way of the long pole. An ordinary Israelite could stand outside the sanctuary and reach out towards the menorah by means of a very long pole with a flame on the end of it. and then light the menorah. And if you're thinking that this sounds like an even further stretch than the Shamas laws, I just need you to tell you that if you give it a second and consider its symbolism, there's more there than you think. We kindle one light, and then the light is shared in a holy task. There's this wonderful Hasidic tale about a simple Hasid who asked his Rabbi, "Rabbi, what is a Jew's task in the world?" And the rabbi answers, "A Jew is a lamplighter on the streets of the world." Now you have to kind of translate that metaphor back a few hundred years, but in the olden days there was a person in every town who would light the gas street lamps with a light carried on the end of a long pole. On the street corners the lamp sat ready to be lit, but it took a lamplighter to kindle that flame. The common Israelite who made the effort to stretch out the way of the long pole in order to kindle the menorah in temple times, they were lamplighters. The Shamas candle on the Hanukkah menorah, the one that brings light to all the other candles, that is a lamplighter. And the one who kindles the street lamps in the Rebbe's tale, you are that lamplighter. Or at least you could be. Be a lamplighter. Light in darkened times is a precious thing. The word shamash means servant or helper, and it seems like a simple task, but that depends, I suppose, on the task at hand. We're called to be a kingdom of priests and a light unto the nations. That sounds like a much grander role, but this too depends on the task at hand. In different ways, these are just two different ways of saying the same thing. We are partners with God in the building of a better world. We can't do that alone, but we can light one candle in the darkness, and together that can bring a great light. So, how many candles did we just light? We struck a match and kindled just one small candle so the Shamas could light them all. Light one candle, and the spirit of Hanukkah will live within us all. Amen.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children. Give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering from the thing we learned long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. Light one candle to bind us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine from our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail.
turn now to the readings before the Kaddish, bottom of page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows, it's radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our life burns down and gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give light. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our thoughts turn to those who departed from this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and our neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week in our congregation, we remember particularly the names of Shirley Tanchester Reese, Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Violet Flegel, Stuart Flexner, Stacy Marks Nissenbaum, Selma Smith, Richard Bronner, Abe Lyons, Richard Burnson, Leopold Fleischaker, Leah Goldberg, Lawrence Lynch, Catherine King, Jerome D. Berman, Jean N. Backrack, Jane Knipp, James Goodman, Hyman Rotman, H. Brent Bass, Emmanuel Weinstock, Elizabeth Catching Betts, Elizabeth Myers, Elise Mediger, Donald Sarno, David Sagg, David Kreitzer, Rhoda Henry, Philip Friedman, Peggy Vine, Mayor Siegel, Mark Uslander, Leslie Henry, David Ben-Gurion, Carolyn Ensign, Bessie Younger, Anthony Handmaker, Alvin Jerry Kozlov, Alex Diamond, Abe Davidson, Abe Berkowitz, and one who died in recent days, Bert Gear. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for blessing as we rise on page 294 for the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, balma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, bagala uv'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba muvorach le'olam ulmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha barichu, le'lo min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlom Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all who are bereaved, and let us say together, amen.
Amen.
Our closing song in honor of Hanukkah is Ma'ot Sur. You can find it on page 365.
Ma'ot Sur Yeshuati Lechana Elishabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati V'sham Toda Lizameach Le'itochit Bodmeach Mitzar HaNabiach Azikmor B'shir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Azikmor B'shir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power.
one who created us all. Help us to see the oneness of us all. And may God's covenant of justice and peace extend to all life. And may we together build a world worthy of God's blessing. May God bless us in our hearts, give us courage in our lives, and heal us from our ills. May God's healing power reach out to us and to all the world. And may we, through our efforts, build a world of justice and of peace. Yevarechecha, Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you from harm. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted unto you and grant you ever and always the blessings of peace. Shabbat Shalom.
And happy Hanukkah.
Chag Hanukkah Sameach.